You're now tuned into Psyk's weekly Nerf dosage.
Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome to episode 104 of pwned. Now, you guys already read the title, so yeah, it's all about the Exus. You can just click the sanitation over here to skip all my introduction talk. So yeah, you guys can tell that I'm trying to grow this out. I wonder how it looks. Do tell me if you think it looks okay. I know the hair on the top of my head and the hair here don't really match. Because I'm trying to grow this part out, I want to keep it long, almost like Bobo. Yeah, so I could tie it up. So yeah, I just want to know what it looked like with super long hair. I've tried a ton of different hairstyles before. I mean, you guys have seen my throwback video, so I've done like mohawks. I have kept I have had like a million colors, different colors of hair. I've also done dreadlocks, whatever. Okay, anyway, I digress. You guys already know that I bought myself an Exus. Just try and keep an open mind about it. It's a very, very expensive blaster shell. It's a shell. And one of the main reasons why I got it was because you guys already know Xplorer. They make, honestly, some pretty good products. But they're always known to be very expensive products. The thing about them that I did not really like, and a lot of people don't like, it's because they actually make stuff that's very, very proprietary to their own line. Something like what Apple and Sony, companies like that, something like what they do. But Xplorer kits, basically, when you install an Xplorer kit into your blasters, basically it kind of forces you to use only stuff like only their grips or only their pump grips, only their accessories, or especially only being able to fire off Stephans. And I don't like firing only Stephans. I like systems that actually allow for both, Stephans and full-length darts. And I know I've done some blasters in the past, that fire only Stephans, but those are, just my own personal mods, just having fun and everything. But in terms of practicality wise, I always believed in compatibility. So yeah, when they finally announced the Exus shell, they actually marketed it as being able to fit in stock, Nerf long shot internals. I was quite intrigued by that. Yes, it's a hefty price to pay. I paid about 510 Singapore dollars because I asked for a custom color, and I paid the full price for it. I wasn't sponsored in any way, so therefore this review is going to be very, very neutral. What the hell is that sound? Sounds like fly wheels, but anyway, yeah, I think. Hold on, let me go check it out. Okay, my brother's in the kitchen making a smoothie, so it's all good. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so when I heard that Xplorer actually made the shell for stock internals, I really wanted to try it out. And it, in my mind, I guess I didn't really mind having a really super solid shell, whether it be cast, or it be milled out. I didn't really care. I just thought that Xplorer's material, the quality of the material is going to be pretty damn solid. So I went ahead and I got it, and also because if I didn't get it, I wouldn't be able to give you guys a review. So I wanted to take a very neutral stand, share its good points and its bad. And for you guys already know that one of the biggest downsides is the hefty price. It's 510 Singapore dollars, which is about 460 USD, about there, thereabouts, about there. So yeah, that's the backstory about it. I kind of documented the process of myself kind of having to mod the internals and a little bit of the shell just so I could fit stock internals in. And let's just go straight ahead to that part of the video and check it out.
Welcome to the internals of my Exus. Basically, it's the inside of the shell first before I put the internals in. Right off the bat, you guys can already see that I have an Orange Modworks trigger right here installed. There's a little bit of stuff over here, and I'll get to that in a short while. This is the stock, or I would say the Exus stock clip release mechanism, and it works a bit like this. So hope you guys can see without me blocking the light. It works this way. So it's an ambidextrous kind of a clip release system, and I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, but I also had to make some adjustments to that. And yeah, as you can see, the shell is pretty damn solid. It very much resembles the stock long shot shell, with a bit of exceptions because the idea of it is to give you a really sturdy molded shell that will outlast any of the Nerf long shot shells so you can just really go ahead and give the shell a beating, and you can also have like really strong internals and stuff. So this could take quite a lot of damage. Now it also has a screw port over here, and this screw port is actually for you to install the screw that holds the spring or retains the spring for the dart tooth mechanism. So if you guys are using the stock dart tooth and dart gate, then yes, you're in luck. It is possible. Now the thing that you guys have to take note of is that if you want to use any other internals besides the Xplorer internals, which means the stock internals, Orange Modworks internals, Remedy Metal internals, or whatever and what have you, basically you need to do a little bit of work on the shell. And you guys have to ignore this part first. Of course, it's missing one step of the rail, but I'll get to that later, much later. Yep. So it's very minimal shell work, but there is some shell work that you have to do. And I also did some minor tweaking, just wanted to really make sure it worked. Now I didn't purchase an Xplorer set of internals because for a few reasons. One, it was because it's a little bit pricey in my opinion. Number two, because I don't want a system that fires off only Stefan's. I've done stuff like the Soul Dizzle Breach, the Lazy Breach, or the Ben Beach, or aka Jeremy's Expired Yogurt's Lazy Breach. I've also done remember my big yellow long shot? No, those are the kind of systems where it fires only Stefan's, and I wanted to have like a strong shell so I could put in my Orange Modworks long shot immortal kit inside, and yeah, so that's basically why I got this shell. And yeah, just really just for fun. Alright, so first of all, let's start from the front. This over here, okay, if you guys are going to use a stock barrel, you'll realize that this what do you call this? This notch, this curve, these ribs over here, they actually fit a stock long shot orange barrel. Let me just grab a barrel and kind of show you guys. Oh, okay, cool. Right here, this is a cut down barrel. This is not the long shot barrel; it's just a cut down barrel, and you can see that it fits perfectly. Yep, so no room for wobble. However, because there's nothing in the front to retain it, the barrel will just slide in and out, so you guys have to group it in place. And that's because Xplorer's dart gates already have the barrel glued into place or screwed into place, so they will not be falling out. So yeah, just to take note. So first of all, the main two things I did to the shell was I had to cut a slot over here. Let me just get the trigger out of place and show you guys. Oh, this is a nice metal rod to retain the trigger, by the way. I had to cut off this slot over here. As you guys can see, there's a curved line, and this curved line is made by me. I had to extend this slot because originally it was maybe about here, this far back, and I think that's because it's meant to actually hold the Xplorer triggers. But Orange Modworks actually modeled their triggers after the stock trigger, and having this thing would mean that the trigger itself was actually never able to go to the completely forward position. It was always like this, so it was semi-engaging a catch all the time. So I had to cut out a slot over here so it could go all the way forward, and you have to do it on the other side of the shell as well. Now, this being an Orange Modworks trigger means that it's a bit wider than the stock trigger itself. So in order to accommodate this, what I had to do was I kind of had to sand this part, and this part a little bit, just so that trigger action will be really smooth. Now, I got lucky and I managed to find this super beefy spring. However, it was not long enough, as you can see, to support both ends, the trigger and the wall itself. So then I got some rubber padding, which is basically just a sticker, like a rubber bumper sticker. You guys can see this is a circular one, and I have another two over here. One is a hard rubber piece. I think I cut this off from a gasket, and this is another rubber bumper. So this kind of shortened the space in between, and I still had the rod over there, so I can have this spring that I like because I want a strong trigger return spring. I kind of like a stronger trigger pull. Yeah, and that stays in place and yeah, provides me enough tension. The next thing that I had to do, and this was through trial and error, was that okay, this slot over here is actually meant for your catch plate. Now the thing is, Originally, this corner, I'm gonna get the screwdriver so I can kind of point to you guys. This corner, this far corner inside here, at first it was kind of curved. So I don't know why, but it was curved up here like that. And I have not seen Explorer's catch plates before, but basically that corner would get in the way of this knob of the catch plate, and also in the corner. I kind of imagine I just like tried to, you know, just tried to estimate and gauge. So it was like a guesstimation, and I kind of figured that even if I did cut off this knob over here, this corner would still get in the way. So I didn't want to, you know, shave off any of the catch plate. You know, it being a catch plate, structural integrity is important. So what I did was I got myself a very thin drill bit, and with my Dremel I kind of just kind of bored out like a sharp corner over here. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'll try and shine the light. And, well, yeah, you guys can see how thin it is right now. See that? It's not a hole, it's just that it's really thin. So yeah, that's the corner over there, just so that it can accommodate the catch plate. Alright, so these are the two main things that I did to the shell itself. Of course, I shaved this down, but like I said, I will tell you guys more about that later. Now, next thing is stuff that you have to do to make things work better. If you guys can see, I put like a little sticker over here. It's a brown sticker. This is like a plastic sliding piece. These are kind of stickers that you used to put underneath a drawer, on the floor or the base of a drawer, so that it would slide better. So yeah, I did that because originally this slot was a little bit wider, and my catch plate would wobble. So now having that slot or that sticker inside makes it a bit thinner and it reduces wobble. I have to do it on the other half of the shell as well. You have to also make sure that you cut off the nub over here. Stock catch plates always have a nub, so you can't really see it because I dremeled it and I sanded it down, so it's pretty smooth. Yeah, you can see it this way. Yeah, that's when you can see all the gloss is gone. But yeah, you have to do that too, and then it goes into place. And for me, I am using two springs. I'm actually using two, and I'm gonna try and show you guys. Right, so I'll be having it like this. Okay, oops, my bad. I'll just install one first, okay, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so the first spring goes in as such, okay, and then the second spring, which is right here, will be on the middle prong, and you can see that now I have basically two catch springs. So this gives me a really strong catch spring, and it can support a much heavier load and spring load. Yeah, I made much heavier spring load. So I'm going to take it out now because I still want to explain more to you guys. You already know what I did to the trigger. Now for this clip release system, okay, it comes right off like that. You guys can see a little bit of a black thing over here, and this is actually some foam. It's really thin now because, well, the idea was to kind of hold this catch tooth for the clip release down in place, because originally it was always wobbling. So when it went up, I realized that it was pushing stock clips too high to a point that you would not be able to close the breech because the clips were sitting too high. So I had to put something there like a block of sorts, and I might just change that piece to a more solid piece. Yeah, so that it would stay down and it would hold the clip in a more standard position, so that I could use stock clips. Stock clips meaning that it's neither Explorer's clips or PAC-D clips. Now without that sponge over there, you can use PAC-D clips and you can use stock Explorer clips without any problems. But if you want to use stock clip, this was for mine. I don't know if anyone else faces this problem with the Exus shells, but mine does. Right, next up is actually work that you have to do on your plunger assembly, which I will bring in right now. And this is my plunger assembly, and before I talk about this part, I want to kind of tell you guys about the barrel and how I made it. If you guys can see, it's aluminium, and it's, well, there's about maybe 1 to 2 mm of a gap over here, but it slides on, it sleeves over very perfectly, as you guys can see. And I have an explanation of how I did this, and I want to share it with you guys right now. This is what's needed to work on the barrel. Basically, you can already see that I have done something over here. This is I have no idea what this is called. I will do some research and then I will write it somewhere on the screen. And this is the 13mm aluminum tube, and you can see that I put some E-tape and I've grouped it in place so that this is completely snug. It ends at about here. Now I'll teach you guys how to measure it later on, but I also wrapped some E-tape, and this is so that I can sleeve this full barrel, and this is taken from the long shot front gun over, and it'll be snug. So yeah, you want to just make sure that everything fits nicely. Just test fit everything, and you can see that it's very little wobble. It's pretty good, and I'll be grouping everything in place later. So you also need a pair of like tweezers or needle nose. This is not needle nose pliers, sorry. This is a wire cutters. So you also need the long shot dart gate, and what you want to do is get the wire cutter. Sorry, I'm stuttering, guys. And you want to get rid of this post as well as this post, and my suggestion is for you to go slow so that you don't accidentally warp any other part of the plastic, and I'm going to do it on camera right now. So I'll just get this out. So you want to kind of slowly pinch it, and then right, exactly like that, so you get something that's pretty flush, and you don't even have to sand it out because nothing's gonna touch it, and you're not gonna be able to see it once you close the blaster out. But yeah, just make sure that you go slow. Okay, just easy does it, and you won't get any extra or any unwanted warping, and you won't get any breakage of the plastic. So there we go. Now what's gonna happen basically is that this part, which is the receiver for the dart, as you can see, it will be like this, and you can see that it's really snug. However, it does feed in with some guiding or coaxing, and that's gonna help with your chambering process, and it will help with the holding the dart in place. So this, since it's so tight, effectively replaces the original dart gate. So I'm gonna use this as the dart gate, and this is tried and tested because I've done it a number of times on my Orange ModWorks Stage 1, 2, 3 Retaliator kits, as well as the version before this when I actually installed a prototype one, a testing one in my Exus. So it's gonna go in from this way because this is where the front is. It's gonna go in from this way, and it will come out just here, right at the edge of this part. That's where the clip goes in. So you cannot have it too far out because it will start to block off the dart feeding. However, you can have it protrude maybe about 1 millimeter or 2. That's to basically compensate for the wall of the clip itself. So you want to insert it, and you want it to be almost like that, or maybe even less, a little bit, just like that, and then you want to group everything in place. Now, how do you measure the length of this part and this part? Well, basically, you want to take measurement from this. That is where the aluminum barrel should start, and this should never ever, getting back together, no, I'm just joking, this should never ever go past this line over here. So it's kind of like this. That's the furthest that you can go. If you go any more than this, then your chambering, what do you call that, receiver piece would not be able to close all the way. Let me give you an example. I just grab this guy over here. Okay, so it's gonna fit in like so, but you can see that it sits, oh sorry guys, like so, it sits all the way in like that. So this goes all the way to the end, as you can see, like that, and this will be too thick for it to feed in. So you want to kind of make sure that, okay, first of all, this feeds into here perfectly, as you guys can see. Just nicely, it goes all the way in actually, and the idea is that the darts will be fed in from the clip, and then this will be tight, so it'll push the dart in as it chambers instead. Then, as you can see, it starts to feed the dart in already. Right, so that's the idea. Hope that my jumping here and there doesn't affect the way that you guys try and understand me. I'm so sorry guys, but yeah, my mind's everywhere. So you want to have it sitting inside this dart gate with the aluminium just a little bit, okay, like that, maybe. Okay, here we go. And then you want to test fit and make sure this can sit in all the way. So this is pretty good actually. And you can see that it goes all the way to the end, and there's some aluminium leeway, so that's pretty good. That's exactly what I want. So now that we have this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group this part and this part, and I'm gonna be very generous with the group. I'm gonna insert it And then I'm going to group this part and sleeve this bad boy over, after which I will let everything set and I will have this guy sitting inside, just so that I make sure that none of this gets misaligned. Okay, you can also group all this part first and make sure everything's in place, and then later on add this on top. It's entirely your choice. So yeah, maybe I'll just do that instead. I'll just group this part first. Here we go, guys. Grab my wonderful Plumber's Group, has been my best friend in Nerf ever since I discovered it. I'm gonna just be very generous with the group over here and up here a little bit, just slightly over here. Okay, and cap up my tube of goop, and then here we go. So in this way first, I'm gonna just twist it a little bit so that I can make sure that everything gets evenly spread on the inside, and having my aluminum barrel protruding out just a little bit. I think that's good. Just for good measure, you can also get a clip and test it out and see how thick or how the wall will fit on the clip. If you look at it from this part, you'll see that, or maybe you can't see because of my lighting, but let me try and get a good angle. Oh yeah, so something like that. Okay, so we can get a dart and we can actually test it, and we have a dart inside here, and then we'll just put the clip in again and we'll measure it. And you can see that, I'm sorry guys, you can see that the dart doesn't get blocked by this thing. Alright, I could push it a bit more like that, but I don't really want to, because sometimes we load darts this way and it sticks out a little bit, so I kind of don't want that happening. So yeah, just like that. I think it's good enough, really. And now to make sure that everything fits and doesn't get misaligned, I'm gonna just put this guy in place and feed it in like so, and I'm gonna just leave it there and let everything cure just like that. So once this is cured, I will be grouping this in place. Alright, so that's about it, guys. See you later. Now that you guys understand the barrel, alright, we're gonna focus on the plunger tube and chambering system assembly, and you guys can see the first big difference is the fact that I am using an Orange Modworks plunger tube as well as an Orange Modworks bolt sled, and I'm using the stock barrel system, and this is entirely my choice. You guys can use Orange Modworks barrel if you want. I don't care, it's your choice, but I'm just using this. But you'll notice that there is no more tail on the bolt sled, and that's because the tail would hit this part over here. This system, as you can see, there's a wall, a solid wall right here, goes all the way to the back here, and there's nothing over there. So there's no way for you to use the tail because there is no priming indicator system whatsoever. So you have to chop off the tail so that you can use it with this system. So if you guys notice that the long shot has a diagonal line coming in, the bolt sled, and then it has a long tail, so I just cut off at that line over there and I sanded everything down so that it's smooth and won't cut my skin, and just got rid of all the burrs and all that. So yeah, this is what you have to do to the bolt sled, and it would sit right here like this, which is, oh yeah, there is still a slot over here for this thing. So yeah, there we go. This is it with the plunger assembly on the inside. Now, this would sit over here in the two slots without any problem. So let me just show you guys. Slide this one in, put everything in place. Now, there we go. As you guys can see, or I mentioned earlier, I already grouped this thing in place, so it's not going to drop out. It's covering my metal part of the barrel all the way till here, and my E-tape stops right at where the yellow starts or yellow ends, so I'm kind of happy with that. Basically, that's all the tweaking that you have to do to your shell, or I had to do to my shell and my internals, and it was a lot of trial and error, but when you finally get it to work, it's really a nice sense of achievement. So this is the internals of my Xzeus. I'll just show you guys all the way one more time from the front, going all the way down to the chambering system. and 2 plunger tube, trigger, and mag release system all the way to the back. Yep, and basically that's it. Just gonna put my catch plate in and close this baby up. I have the whole Xzeus closed up. I put an orange modwork sticker here and on the flip side as well. These are the OG orange modwork stickers, if you guys remember. I think that they did come with the Immortal Longshot kit, but don't quote me on that. So it looks like this on the front all the way across to the back. Now please ignore this black shit over here. But yeah, the last thing I did was actually put a stopper piece, like you can see a piece of felt over here, and that's because originally I realized that the stop was kind of like drooping downwards a little bit, looked a bit strange, especially when I pulled it all the way out. Now you can see that there's a three position adjustable stock because of the slots over here in this little retention spring. Now there's a little plastic piece on the back, 2 screw ports and a plastic piece holding this spring and the stopper over here in place. So in its completely collapsed position or completely closed position, it's going to be fine, but when you extend it, it will start to droop this way and looks a bit strange. So I had to use some kind of support. I originally put it on the top, but it doesn't really work that way, so I tried at the bottom and it works fine. So I put a little bit of a you can see this felt thing over here, a little bit of padding. Yes, it makes the stop a little bit tough, a little bit tighter, but it gets the job done, and it's still can be adjustable, as you guys can see. But now there's no wobble or very little wobble, and at least the stock is perfectly straight. Yeah, I mean, you guys know me, just have to make sure that I tweak everything till I'm quite satisfied with it. Now if you can see, it's already closed, and I want to talk to you guys about this missing slot on the rail over here. Now I don't know if it's a measurement error or if it's because of the warping. Whenever Xplorer casts these shells, they cast it in halves and then it has to cool. So maybe during the cooling period everything shrinks down, I have no idea. But I'm gonna use this Magpul rail covers. As you can see, it's supposed to slip on exactly like that and lock into place. Now these are actually gonna be 2 slots. They're gonna take up 2 slots on any Picatinny rail, and they do actually slot on for some, but it's a bit irregular. So it's kind of like this. Like for example, you can see that this doesn't really go in. You can see that I cannot press it flat. But if I move down 1, I can, and that's where the first irregularity starts. Now this I can, but if I go down a bit more, it's hard for me to find. Okay, so this is good, but this is not, for example. So it's just irregular all the way. And what I did was, because I have these pink colored ones, I just wanted to make like a kind of like a little Easter egg blaster, and I wanted to put, I mean, some of you guys have already seen my Instagram, but I wanted to put like a pink colored airsoft removable grip onto this. But unfortunately, if you guys can see the measurements over here of the 2 slots, they never line up. You see, the first one over here is on the rail top itself, and the other one is in the slot. So it never ever matches up, no matter where I put it, no matter where I put it. So it's a constant irregularity, which is a bit unfortunate. So what I did instead was, I just kind of decided that, okay, I want to have the position of the handle over here, and so I went ahead and I filed this down, because it being a removable handle means that I can just unscrew this, and then I can remove this metal piece over here, and then this should grip onto the Picatinny rail. Now the problem with it is, this piece over here is an airsoft piece. I don't even know if it's a proper rail, like it's meant to fit rails properly, as like this kind of rails. But there were no problems when I had put on these rail covers, but the problem came when it was this tight. So what happens is, I can actually just hook on this piece on this side, and then all I gotta do is just press it flat. Now let me try and get the angle for you, but you guys can see. I'll try maybe like this. Okay, maybe like this. Alright, so I'm just gonna press it down. Sorry guys, I gotta find and make sure that the slot is correct. Just make sure that the slot lines up. There we go. Just gonna press it flat, and you'll see that it snaps into place, just like so. So it snapped into place, and although yes, you can still support the blaster with this if you're holding it straight up, but if you kind of yank it to the side, it comes right off. You guys can see. So what I had to do was I actually drilled 2 holes over here, and these holes go halfway down the Picatinny rail, so it never goes in and you know, screws up any of the internal workings. And also I made use of this slot where you're supposed to actually kind of attach like a rail over here, and I also have another 2 holes over here, and what I did was I made sure that they were countersunk. So now I can put this in place and install 2 screws and hold this thing in place super sturdy. I don't know if you guys are crazy enough to do a mod like that, but I went ahead and I did it because I told myself I'm definitely going to keep that pink colored rail on this blaster at all times. So I just want to make sure that it's really secure. So that's just me. You guys don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's really just me. Alright, and yeah, I mean I already let you guys know that I'm using the long shot front gun barrel. So here it is, and yeah, that's about it. Trigger pull is a pretty strong one. You can see I'm exerting quite a lot of force just so I can pull the trigger. Mag release system is pretty smooth, and I will just prime this guy, okay, and then I will insert and remove a clip. Okay, so I'll prime this guy now, right, and then here we go. Just install the clip, which is a regular 12 dart clip, okay, and you can remove it easy like that. And that's what I really like. You can see it's really sturdy in place. It's not going to come out, although there's a bit of wobble, but once you disengage this clip lock, it comes right out. And I'm going to just chamber it for you guys. So you can see it closes completely fine. No problems with the opening and closing of the breech at all. And yeah. Oh, sorry guys. I mean, technically you could still just yank it out as per usual, or you could just like slam it in. Yeah. But that's entirely up to you. Sneak peek for you guys. Take a look. You can see the aluminum barrel still on the inside, and this thing sleeves over with absolutely no problem, and I'm very happy with that. Fires off darts without any problems. Okay, so I'm just gonna squeeze the trigger and close out this breech, and that's it. For my talk and my review or explanation or detailed walkthrough of my Xzeus, and yeah, I hope that you guys like it. Well, here's a quick little update for you guys, and I had to do this simply because now the barrel has been upgraded with BAM! A rifled muzzle attachment from Zorko, and you guys can go check him out on Facebook, go get his stuff. This is really cool. I already have it on my long shot, and probably you guys have already seen the video, but these are, you know, really crazy upgrade parts from Zorko, and I asked him, hey, you know, can I just try getting one more rifle barrel from you so I can fit it onto my my Xzeus, and guess what, it does. It fits, and it's grouped in place already, as you guys can see. And I've also heard that for different type of barrels, a myriad of barrels, you can just take some sandpaper and you can just sand the front down a little bit and then group everything in place. And yeah, so what I did was I cut this part off from the front. It used to be about this long, I think. Yeah, and then I also cut down the aluminum barrel or whatever barrel I have over here. Cut it down too, and yeah, this is it. And I want to show you guys how it fits. This part over here is the exact same outer diameter as this orange barrel. So if the orange barrel sits here nicely without any wobbles, then you know that this is gonna sit without any wobbles whatsoever. I'll just hold it down this side, and look, there's no wobbling whatsoever. It's just amazing. It's gonna close into the blaster shell very beautifully, and I will show that to you guys later. So wow, crazy upgrades to my Xzeus, and yeah.
This is now what my Xzeus looks like. You guys who are following me on Instagram already know, because I've kind of posted a picture of this, but I haven't posted it in this format yet, or this style yet. Those of you that saw me at the Nerf SG 6th anniversary war know about this blaster seen in this way. I put some stickers here and there. These are like basically car door bumper stickers. I don't even know why I have them, but I had them, so stuck it on. I have car sticker decals that say, on this side says PSyk and this side says PWND. Got some purple like rainbow stickers that are in triangle shapes. I just put it on because Illuminati. But yeah, anyway, orange mark stickers, some water slide, what do you call these? Temporary tattoos. Got indexing clips via Nick, aka Soulscut, Thank you, bro, for always helping me out. Sorry about the PayPal thing that got delayed, but yeah, I'm glad that everything went smoothly in the end. So I have these because of you, and they fit really great. And the reason why I have to get this is because the rails do not line up like normal standard rails do. I've also installed Zorko's rifle barrel, and I've also got Gavin's Retaliator AK sight, and I just slipped it on just for the tacticalness. Put on some bling pSyk on the back, you know, and it's working great right now. I also had the luxury of being able to take a look at other Xzeus shells apart from mine, because you know, apparently mine is not from the first batch. So I was able to get my hands on a couple of Xzeus shells from the first batch, namely one from Zorko and one from another member called Su Qiang, previously owned by someone called Eric. His was known as the King Crab. He called it King Crab. It's like it's mainly red and black, and Alex's was tan and black. And I was taking a look at it, and they actually had Xplorer kits installed in them. I believe that Alex's one was running a Gen 3 and Su Qiang's one was running a Gen 5. And after being able to fit stock internals into this, you know, you guys already know that I had to kind of like mod the shell a little bit. The differences between the two shells is that the original batch did not have the ramp at the back of the catch plate slot. You guys already know that I had to kind of like dig out a notch. This didn't have it, and this did not have the slot for the stock dart tooth. So I guess mine is more suitable for people who want to use stock internals, but of course in the end I didn't use the dart tooth. I'm using the custom barrel that I did, so the custom breech that I did. So what happened was it wasn't, both of them were facing problems, you know, priming the blaster. It just didn't want to catch, and they were all stumped. And Alex actually handed me his Exus, and I took a look at it, and I realized that it was a problem with the catch plate. So the catch had some problems with their own triggers. It's really strange because, and I don't want to offend anyone here, but Xplorer is making kits that's supposed to go into the Exus shell made by them, but the kits and the shell don't work. They're not compatible because of some misalignment in the measurements. So all you have to do is just work on the catch plate, and Explorer's catch plate also doesn't work. You have to kind of send one of the knobs down, shorten the catch plate, put some spaces at the back of the catch plate so that it would not wobble in the slot, and then everything will work fine. I did not actually see the internals of Su Qiang's Exus, but after he shared with me his problems with the blaster, and I saw it firsthand, as in I saw him using the blaster first, and I didn't open it up. I told him exactly what I did, and I told him to just do the same thing. He did it, and it works now. So that's just proof. So it's really strange. I guess I don't know if Xplorer will ever change, but that is one big downside. So yeah, I didn't manage to get any footage of it, of myself exploring Alex's Exus, but I do have some footage of, you know, the Exus being with me. So just in case you guys want to watch it, I don't know why you would, but just share it with you guys anyway.
I just wanted to quickly share that Zorko was kind enough to lend me his Exus shell, as you can see on the left. And the reason why he lent me his shell is because his apparently is made about maybe 1 or 2 batches before mine was casted, and apparently there's some minor differences in the shells internally. So I actually opened it up and took a look, and the main differences would be that his from an earlier batch did not have the slot to hold the dart tooth. So if you guys are actually using internals from a stock system, like for example the stock long shot, the black color dart tooth, that doesn't really have a slot there. At the same time, you guys remember that I mentioned that there's a little ramp at the back of where the catch plate's supposed to be, and I had to kind of like dig out a corner. Yeah, his does not have that ramp. It doesn't have the extra material, so a standard catch plate is going to sit in there with no problem. So I don't even know why that ramp was added into this, besides maybe to just cause, yeah, basically cause extra problems when you're trying to put a stock system inside. I would like to mention though that at the same time he had me take a look at fitting internals into his shell, and he's talking about Gen 3 long shot. I think it's a fighter kit, I don't know what kit, but Gen 3 long shot kit from Xplorer. And sad to say that Explorer's internals don't even work with the shells. I had to also modify the Xplorer internals itself. I had to shave down the catch plate, I had to shave down the side nub the same way I did for stock long shot catch plate. I had to shave the bottom off the catch itself so it would allow for more travel up and down, because the catch was not moving down far enough, and the trigger was blocking it from moving down far enough as well, both in the notch and the trigger itself. So I guess it's kind of silly to produce internals that don't actually work with your shell, but you know, after some modification and adding some material onto the shell slot for the catch plate, then it reduced the wobble and now it's working perfectly fine. Let me see if I can prime it on camera with one hand, because I'm holding it with one hand. I don't know if I'll slip, I hope not. Let's go. There we go. So now it's catched with no problems at all, as you guys can see. It's a 20 kilogram spring setup, so absolutely no problem whatsoever now. Yeah, just guess I wanted to really point that out to you guys in case you guys are interested in getting the shell. So something for you to take note of.
So yeah, I guess a picture paints a thousand words. Sorry, my tongue. So I'm gonna just go ahead and give you guys a firing demonstration of this baby right now. Don't ask me about ranges, because this is basically how you mod your own long shot. It's technically a long shot in a different shell, you know. So I have 6 darts in this clip, 2 standard blues, 2 rebel elites, as well as 2 zombie strike elites. Going to be firing them off in this general direction. Here we go. All 6 out. Now I also have a Stefan clip, so I'm running 6 Stefans in this clip, 2 white slugs, 2 pink slugs, and the last 2 are 2 blue silicone tip darts. Here we go. It didn't feed properly, and that's because it's my own fault. I'm using really old darts with the tips, you know, being damaged. They're like misaligned. So I gotta check that out. Sorry guys, give me a moment. So make sure, yep, it didn't feed well at all, or I shaved the dart. So I think it should be okay now. Let's fire it out. Yep, I was right. I'll show you the dart. Old darts don't make for good firing, so there we go. It's my fault, not the blaster's fault. Now we're gonna go for the pink slugs. Here we go. It's a really loud sound, by the way. Kind of scary. I hope I'm not gonna chip the paint off, because I took a lot of time painting this wall. Now it's 2 blue silicone tip darts, and I have a feeling that, oh my god, the darts broke. I have a feeling that the silicone tip darts are gonna break. So here we go. I was right. You guys heard that sound? That's the tip of the dart. This bastard's destroying darts, and it's my own fault. But anyway, yeah. What? The zombie strike one broke too? Damn. I'm losing darts. Just because. But yeah, I cannot take this clip. Oh, okay, finally got it. So yeah, I am happy with the performance of this blaster. I cannot really attribute it to the fact that it's because it's an Exus shell. To be fair, I have to say that it's because of the internal mods itself. No, I'm not trying to say that I'm a really wonderful modder. It's just that you know, you guys, if you're experienced, you know, in modifying a long shot, you know what the performances are. But the shell itself, now let's just get to the shell. Okay, the shell itself feels really sturdy. Some people actually found the grip pretty small. I find it alright, because I tend to hold my grips this way with my index finger on the front. Sometimes my thumb is on the thumb rest over here, so the thumb rest is a pretty good addition to the grip, but I don't really have it here. Some people grip their shotgun grips this way, some have it completely to the side, like that, but I have mine here so that I can use my index finger to have a little bit of extra grip on the front and aid myself in priming it as I pull it back. But that's just my style of doing it. I know everyone has a different kind of grip. It's kind of like how you grip a mouse, like the claw or something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty short stock, to be honest. This is the fully extended slot already. I would kind of like it to be about this far away. That's more comfortable for myself. It's a personal preference, but I guess this is it. Stock, as you can see, is so squared off that it doesn't sit on my shoulder or that groove over here naturally. And I'm used to feeling the butt stock actually resting in the groove right in between the shoulder and the chest, just above your armpit. I'm used to that because I used to handle an M16, so we were trained during my run to have the butt stock actually sitting inside. But this is such a huge squared off end that it's just slipping off, and even if I find a spot to kind of like rest it in, the corner's digging really deep and it kind of hurts. So yeah, I don't think it's very comfortable for prolonged usage. But yeah, unless I throw my shoulder forward like this, like what I'm doing now, and I'm resting on my shoulder muscle instead of in that slot over there. So something that I'm not pretty comfortable with. I'm not trying to say that you have to do this all the time, it's just that reaction, you know. For us, we have been trained and it's like second nature for us to do this. I know that Solskjaer always says, hey, you know, Psych, you have pretty good trigger finger discipline, and we learned that in the military as well. Never to put your finger on the trigger, always have it outside. So yeah, that's just me. One of the biggest downside I mentioned before, that the rail slots don't actually work with any kind of attachments that actually require 2 points. So you guys have to really just pray and just hope that the things that you get, the accessories that you get, are gonna fit on the slot. Yeah. Apart from that, I think the shell is pretty okay. It's really not that worth the $510. It is something very unique. It is something that looks really, really cool, to be honest with you. It's really cool. I know for a fact that this shell is gonna last a long, long time. You know, good things about it is I like this lever a lot. It's one of the best, you know, lever release style for the magwell that I've handled so far. Of course, I've upgraded it with a very beefy spring, so this this tension is really, really good. But yeah, apart from that, it's just an awesome shell. Whether or not you are willing to pay the money for it, I do not know. For me, I feel that if you really have the spare cash, go ahead and get it. If you don't, then it's something that you could just give a miss on, because it's kind of a lot of work that requires you to do in order for you to fit stock internals into this thing. So it's not a true one-for-one stock replacement per se. You still have to do things like cut off bolt that tail, you have to open up the slot for the trigger, you have to work on the catch plate portion, you know, things like that. If it's worth the hassle for you, it's entirely up to you. For me, I'm just a collector. It is something that I want to add to my arsenal. I've been eyeing this for a little while and I had a bit of spare cash, so I thought, why not just give it a shot. Yeah. Colors came out pretty okay. I was actually hoping for something that was slightly lighter, because when I was told, when I asked Mark what blue it was, he said it was going to be blue to match the Zombie Strike line, but this is nothing like the Zombie Strike line at all. I have a Zombie Strike long shot right here, and I'm going to put it side by side so that you guys can see. This blue and the Zombie Strike blue is completely different. It's two completely different shades. But this blue over here isn't even the same as any Nerf Elite blue at all. You guys can already tell just by looking at it. I originally wanted to make it like a minion themed blaster, because you know minions are coming up and they're pretty cute. I'm not a big fan, but they're pretty cute. But now it looks more like Ikea's color. But then I decided to just change it up and put more colors on it and call it an Easter egg style. So that's why you have the pink, the yellow, the blue, some orange, some black, silver, you know, and the whole deal. So yeah, pros and cons. I've already given you most of it. it's a pretty good shell. It lasts a long time. It's really solid. It's very well made. Some parts a bit funny, like for example, you see the trigger part, they have this like slot over here. It looks like it's just like stuck together. I don't know. I have like funny, like I don't know, like some funny kind of a finishing over here on the edges. It looks like it's just like being welded together or something like that. Price point, definitely a down point, and you'd have to put in quite a lot of work in order to make your blaster and the internals work together. It's possible that you might run into problems even if you're using a Gen 5 kit. So yeah, one of the ways or one of the things that you can do is take your blaster, send it over to Xplorer and get them to fix it in for you. But for me, I feel that I derive a sense of satisfaction when I make things work. So that was just me. Would I recommend this to anyone? I would, only if you have the spare cash. If you don't, it's something that you can just miss out on. Go ahead and just mod a standard long shot. So yeah, I hope that you guys like this review of the Exus. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. I hope that I gave you guys a pretty good insight. I know that a lot of you are probably gonna be like, why do you want to spend so much money on the shell? I honestly don't know. I thought it was cool. I had some spare cash because Chinese New Year at that point of time. I waited quite a while for this shell to actually arrive. I placed my order end of January this year. I only received it, I think, about late March. Yeah. Then I took some time to kind of make sure that everything goes in. You guys already know what the internals are. I'm happy with the performance of it so far. But performance wise, it's on par with, like, it's not even on par. It loses out to my Remedy Metals red long shot, simply because that's running a stronger spring system and has a different barrel setup. But this, for what it is, it's pretty alright to me. Would I consider buying another shell? I don't think I would. I don't know. I might if I have the money. Might want to get some crazy color for it. But if I had that spare cash, I might just want to invest in something else. I don't know. It's really a, you either like it or you don't. It's a really 50-50 thing. But I just really wanted to do this review for you guys because I don't think anyone else is going to review this shell for you. So now that you guys have seen it, hopefully you guys can formulate your own, conclusion from it, whether it's good or whether it's not. Price point wise and usability wise, this shell is probably going to last you a lifetime. I don't know how many of you have actually broke your long shot shells, but this is going to last you a long time. And yeah, it's one of my prized possessions now, simply because one, it's a novelty, number two is because it's so goddamn expensive. But yeah, I put a lot of work into it. I made it look like a really cute, very bright, colorful, multicolored blaster. And that's what I like. I like things to look out of this world, like toys. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys have like any questions about it, just hit me up. And if you own an Exus and you have a problem with it catching, just let me know and I will share with you what the remedy steps are supposed to be. Yeah, so thanks again for sticking all the way throughout, guys. I hope that you guys found this informative and interesting. Stay tuned for the next episode. I still have stuff that I want to review and I want to show you guys. I promise you the next episode is also not 3D printed related, I promise. Alright, yeah, thanks for sticking throughout. If you like this video, I hope you guys give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, I hope that you guys consider subscribing. Thank you for the feedback on the throwback mod videos that I've been putting on. I'm glad that you guys enjoy it, and it seems that you guys also like the R3 video that I put up. It's not part of Pwn because I actually just did all the editing on my iPhone itself with the stock iMovie app. I think that app is pretty cool. Oh yes, before I go, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Rob from SBNC actually made a collaboration video. It was him that actually had this idea of like getting nerfers from around the globe to kind of collaborate in a fun project. So we were just out, to have fun and do stupid shit for your entertainment, and I will link it right here, annotation. If not, I will also put a link in the video description down below. Hope that you guys check out the video and go say hi to Rob. Subscribe to his channel, subscribe to all those people who actually participated, because these people are those that constantly inspire me and to push myself in terms of not just in terms of nerf modding, but also as a person, the way they approach their videos, the way they approach life and everything. It's really cool. I really like this community, and I'm just glad that everyone's just able to band together to do stupid shit for entertainment, and I hope they like it. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a tribute to one of the funniest videos I've ever seen on YouTube, yeah, it's just that video gets me every single time, so I decided to make a tribute. So yeah, go check it out. It's pro tips, okay, pro tips. So okay, I'll stop talking now. I think that's enough for me for this week. So drills pay the bills and teamwork makes the dream work. I will see you guys really soon. Thank you for everything, everyone. Peace.